Hello students, how are you? Now I am going to explain a new topic, that is relation between electric field and potential. A very important topic is relation between electric field and potential. Now if we consider a point charge plus Q at the point O, okay? If we consider a point charge plus Q at located at the origin. Now, due to this point charge, if I am saying there is a point A, now at that point the direction of electric field is outward. Okay, due to this point charge plus Q, the electric field is considered as E. Okay, now I am considering a 2 point A and B. Right? I am considering a 2 points A and B are separated by very small distance dr. Separated by a very small distance dr. So these 2 points are very close to each other. So we assume that the electric field is almost constant at each point. We assume the electric field almost constant at each point. Now, if we consider the potential at the point A is V and the potential at the point B as V plus dV. It means the potential at the point is V and at the point B the potential is little more, that is V plus small value dV. Okay, now here what we consider electric field due to plus Q charge located at origin O. Okay, this is our first assumption. Now second, what? Let 2 points A and B separated by a very small distance dr. Okay, now point A and B are very close to each other. So the value of electric field is almost constant. Right? Now, what our next assumption? We have assumed the potential at point A is V and potential at the point B is little more, that is V plus dV. I'm going to rubbing it. Now what next? Let potential at point A be V and point B is V plus D. Okay. Now what next? Now if we move a small point charge Q naught against this electric field, now how much force is required? Again, I am repeating. If we move a point charge Q naught against this electric field, how much force is required? Force required to move a point charge, or we can write move a test charge. Value assume as Q naught against electric field. Here we write the word against electric field. Against means in opposite direction of electric field. How much force is required? The force will be minus Q naught into E. This much force is required to move a test charge Q naught against electric field. Okay. Now if a test charge move from point A to B against this electric field, there should be a work done. There should be a work done by this test charge. So what amount of the work done required? Now work done required to move a test charge from A to B. How much work is required? As we know that this distance is very small, so amount of work done is also very small. So we write dW is equal to work done formula, force dot dr, the distance, F dot dr. Put the value of force here. You can write Q naught E dot dr. This much work is required to move a charge Q naught from A to B. I am taking this equation number 1. Now we also know that if the charge Q naught move from A to B, we can write the work done as charge multiplied by potential difference. So we can also write the work done as work done to move a charge Q naught from A to B. We can write the formula of work done in terms of potential as value of charge multiplied by potential difference, VB minus VA. Now if we put the value Q naught, VB is V plus dV minus V, V is cancelled out, and this much is equal to Q naught dV. Now I am going to take this equation as equation number 2. Now here the equation number 1 and equation number 2 both express the amount of work done required. Both express the amount of work done required. So we equate the equation 1 and 2. Now from equation 1 and 2, we can write Q naught dV is equal to minus Q naught E dot dr. Okay, I equating the equation 1 and 2. Now Q naught is cancelled out. What formula we get finally? dV is equal to minus E dot dr. This is the relationship between potential and electric field. dV is equal to minus E dot dr, or we can write as E is equal to minus dV upon dr. E is equal to minus dV upon dr. Now here dV upon dr, this is called as potential gradient. dV upon dr is called as potential gradient. Now how we can define the electric field in terms of potential gradient? We express as the electric field is a negative of potential gradient. We can express as the electric field at any point is equal to negative of potential gradient at that point. Or we can write as the value of electric field any point is negative of potential gradient at that point. Now this is a proper definition of electric field in terms of this formula. If the value of electric field at any point is the negative of potential gradient at that point. Now what is the significance of this electric field? One more thing, what is the significance of this negative sign here? What is the significance? Very important point is that. What is the significance of negative sign? I am taking it as a note. Right? Here the negative sign shows the direction of electric field in the decreasing of potential. What it means? The direction of electric field is always in the direction of decreasing potential. Again I repeat, the direction of negative sign show that the direction of electric field is in the direction of decreasing potential. What do you mean by decreasing potential? Here the potential at the point B is V plus dV, and now the potential at the point A become V. So potential decrease from B to A. So the direction of electric field is from B to A. So negative sign show that the direction of electric field is in the direction of decreasing potential. Negative sign show that direction of electric field is in the direction of decreasing potential. Very important point is this. The negative sign show that the direction of electric field is in the direction of decreasing potential. And what about the final relation? E is equal to minus dV upon dr. This is the relationship between electric field and potential. Okay. Now the next topic is equipotential surface. As the name suggests, equi means same, potential, right? It means any surface at which the potential is same on each point or every point on that surface is called as equipotential surface. It means any surface that has same potential at every point on it is called equipotential surface. What equipotential means? Any surface that has same potential at every point on it is called equipotential surface. Right? Any surface that has same potential at every point on it is called equipotential surface. Right? That surface may be surface of body or surface in space. That surface may be surface of body or surface in space. Right? That is the definition for equipotential surface. Any surface that has same potential on every point on it is called equipotential surface. And that surface may be surface of any body or surface in space. Now I am going to what are the main properties of equipotential surface? Now, properties of equipotential surface, a very important topic regarding equipotential surface. Properties of equipotential surface. The first property say no work done. No work done is moving a test charge no work done in moving a test charge over the equipotential surface. Means there is no work done possible if you move a test charge over the equipotential surface. If I am saying this is any surface and we assume 2 points here, A and B. Okay, and we say the distance between these 2 points is dl. The distance between these 2 points is dl. Okay, now if you want to move a test charge Q naught from A to B, what will be the work done value? dW is equal to Q naught VB minus V, because we know that work done is equal to charge multiplied by potential difference. But this surface is equipotential. It means potential at the point A is equal to potential at the point B. For the equipotential surface, we say VA equal to VB. So, now what about the work done value? That is Q naught into 0 or is equal to 0. Why we put this value 0? Because the difference becomes 0. So, work done becomes 0. That's why I am writing here no work done in moving a test charge over the equipotential surface. Hope the topic is clear. Now what about the second property? The second important property is electric field is always normal to the equipotential surface. It means if there is a equipotential surface, if I am saying this is a equipotential surface, so the value of electric field is always normal, means perpendicular to that equipotential surface. Electric field is always normal to that equipotential surface. If I am saying the electric field is not normal, if electric field is not normal, it means there have some non-zero value of electric field along this surface. If there is some non-zero value of electric field, so the work done is possible. But in the case of equipotential surface, what about the work done? There is no work done is possible. Hence, we say the electric field is always normal to the equipotential surface. Clear? Now, what about the third case? I am going to rubbing it. What about the third case? Now, the third case says equipotential surfaces are closer to each other for strong electric field. Closer to each other for strong electric field region, and farther apart in weak electric field region. What this third property says? This third property says where the electric field is strong, In that condition, the equipotential surfaces are nearest to each other, closer to each other. And where the electric field is weak, now in that condition the equipotential surfaces are farther away. Okay, so this is again a very important property. When we make a equipotential surface, for some cases we always use this property. Our property says where the strong electric field region, in that condition the equipotential surfaces are closer to each other, and in the weak electric field region the equipotential surfaces are farther away. Okay, now what about the last property? Last property say equipotential surfaces are never intersect to each other. Equipotential surfaces are never intersect to each other. Intersect to each other means no two equipotential surfaces cut to each other. If two equipotential surfaces they are cut to each other, they have intersect to each other, it means they have two different value of potential. They have two different values of potential, but equipotential surface says there is no two different values of potential. Equipotential surfaces have the same value of potential. So the equipotential surfaces never to intersect each other. It means if any two equipotential surfaces cut to each other or intersect to each other, it's only possible when they are two different potential values. But if the surface is equipotential, we all know the potential value on each and every point will be same, so they never intersect to each other. So these are four important properties in the case of equipotential surface. Now I am going to draw some equipotential surfaces for different cases. Now equipotential surface for various charge system. First charge system I am taking here a single positive charge. Equipotential surface for a positive point charge. Right? We have to find the potential. We know the formula for potential is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R. Now when this V become constant, when the value of V become constant, when if and only if when R is constant. The value of Q is constant here. 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught constant. What is the variable? R is variable. So we want to make, if V is constant, it is possible only if R is constant. Now for equipotential surface for a single point charge system is always a spherical concentric shell in which the point charge is behave as a center. Again I repeat, V is constant if R is constant, right? V is only constant if R is constant. So the equipotential surface for the point charge, either that point charge is positive or negative, the equipotential surface, if you want to make an equipotential surface for a point charge, you can make a concentric spherical shell in which that point charge is at the center. That point charge is at the center. What I am saying, if I am taking a positive charge plus Q, okay, I am taking a positive charge. What about the electric field lines? The electric field lines are outward, like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, and like this. These are what? The electric field lines. And what the concept say? Concept say for a point charge, the equipotential surfaces are concentric circle in which that charge is behave at the center. So I make a concentric circle here. This is my first circle, my second circle, my third circle, my fourth circle, and so on. So this is the equipotential surface in a blue marker, with the blue marker, that is the equipotential surface. What is this? This is equipotential surface. Equipotential surface. And what about this? These are electric field lines. Right? So when you want to make a equipotential surface for a point charge, simply make a concentric circle in which that charge is placed at the center. Okay? Now second case, we want to draw a equipotential surface for two equal and opposite charge system. Two equal and opposite charge system means that is a dipole. We want a equipotential surface for a dipole. So here I am taking two charges, plus and minus. So two equal and opposite charge system, plus Q and minus Q. Two equal and opposite charge system. What about the electric field? If we want to make a electric field lines, we all know that the electric field lines always generate from positive charge and terminate to the negative charge. So electric field lines are like this. These are the electric field lines. Okay, like this, like this. So these are what? Electric field lines. And we want to make a equipotential surface. If I am taking this charge only this charge. Now if this is a positive point charge, the equipotential surface must be concentric circle. For this charge, equipotential surface must be concentric circle. It means the shape of equipotential surface is concentric circle. But here we take a third property, and third property says for a strong electric field, the equipotential surfaces are closer, and for weak electric field, the equipotential surfaces are farther apart. So where in this condition, where the electric field is strong, yes, in between these two charges, the electric field is strong, and here the value of electric field is weak. So where the electric field is weak, the equipotential surfaces are farther apart, and where the electric field is strong, the equipotential surfaces are nearest. But the shape of equipotential surface is concentric circle design. Like this, like this, like this, look here. Here the equipotential surfaces are closer to each other, but here the equipotential surfaces are farther apart. Similarly, for this case, like this, like this, like this, like this. So this is a diagram for equipotential surface. These are what? Equipotential surface. And what about this? These are electric field lines. Right? So if we have a combination of two equal and opposite charge, we make the equipotential surface like this. Now the third case. Now for the third case, we have to again design the equipotential surface for two equal positive charge system. It means we have two equal positive charge. If I am saying this charge value is Q and positive charge. Now, what about the electric field lines? What about their electric field lines? The electric field lines are outward, like this. The electric field lines are like this. For this, the electric field lines like this. Okay, so this is the electric field lines outward. As we know that electric field lines positive charge always generate. So electric field lines are outward. So here the electric field lines, it means this region have strong electric field and this region have weak electric field. This region have strong electric field and this region have weak electric field. So we have to design the equipotential surface for this charge. Like this. Like this. Like this. Like this. Similarly here. Like this. Like this. Like this. And now they overlap like this. Okay. Finally, they can make an electric field lines like this, very closer to each other. So this is a equipotential surfaces for two positive charge system. Where the electric field is strong, they are closer to each other. Where the electric field is weak, they are farther apart. Okay, so this is a diagram equipotential surface. What about this? Electric field line. What about this? Equipotential surface. Okay, done. Now the last case, equipotential surface for uniform electric field. Now here we have a uniform electric field. It means we draw parallel equidistant line for a uniform electric field like this. Parallel equidistant line for a uniform electric field. Parallel equidistant line for a uniform electric field. So this is a uniform electric field. In this uniform electric field, we have to draw the equipotential surface. We have to draw equipotential surface like this. We have to draw equipotential surface like this. Now these are equipotential surface, and what this if you saw this equipotential surface, these equipotential surface are normal to the field lines and have a equidistant. So equipotential surface are equidistant and normal to the electric field lines, and they are equidistance plane. The equidistance plane and normal to the electric field line. So for uniform electric field, equipotential surface are equidistance parallel plane. Equidistance parallel planes. Okay, so this is a diagram for equipotential surface. This is equipotential surface, and these are electric field, uniform electric field line. Now this is overall about the equipotential surface, property of equipotential surface, and how you can draw the equipotential surfaces for the different charge system. Hope you understand this topic. Thank you so much, but don't forget to subscribe my channel Physics Clinic. If you have any problem, you can write on the comment box. I definitely provide you the solution of your problems.